Michael, I think we're all at a loss for words after that one. That was probably one of the best performances your side have put in for a long time. But this is the sticking point, isn't it? It means very little when you don't put the ball in the net.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, Joe. Not very often. I don't have much to say. I think probably people realise that I can waffle on when I need to, but at the moment, it's just very good performance. Just means nothing when you don't put the ball in the net. And we had so many chances today, so many chances. And look, I won't put any blame on the players. Obviously, they're going for a tough time as it is on the pitch. That's my job here. I'll take the forefront of it, and I'm prepared to do that for those boys because I know they'd do the same for me.
We'll try and pick the bones out of it, but before anything else, we have to give credit to their goalkeeper, who's made arguably the two saves of his career. I mean, that header from Callum Banner in the first half to tip that onto the bar, I think that's one of the best saves this ground has seen. And then to save the penalty in the second half, what a performance from him.
Yeah, no, Charlie on a personal level was with me when I finished my career at Northampton, a very good goalkeeper, and he showed why that is. He said he had no right to save that header, and he's done it, and he's said he's got no right to save the penalty, if we're being honest. And look, it just seems to be the way everything's going for us at the moment. It's everything that can go wrong seems to go wrong. So, yeah, look, it's a difficult day. But like I said, there's loads of positive in there. I think once the dust settles on tonight's result, we'll focus on them.
Why do you think it is that your side are struggling to find the back of the net in crucial moments? Because you've had a lot of the possession, a lot of territory. You scored a great goal, but ultimately you've left it too late to find that goal.
Yeah, for me, I think I think you can just tell confidence is shattered amongst that front end of the pitch. I just think we're in a lull, which we know we are in a run of bad results, and I think it's just like I said, as much as we can try and build them and work them towards being positive and working hard, that it's a thing until they get that moment of putting the ball in the back of the net. It's still, it'll be playing in their minds, as they're going to strike it. They'll just be like, I'm not scored in a couple. I'll hit the life out of it, and then they like I said, that technique goes, but. Like I said, we're making chances. We just got to start putting them in the net now.
Do you think the emotions are a bit compounded by, well, one, the fact that you've been beat by a side who are in and around you in the table, but also seeing the way they celebrated at full time, which they're perfectly entitled to, by the way. They've come away from home and defended for their lives, and they've took a really important 3 points for themselves.
Yeah, of course. Like, don't get me wrong. They've come here and they've done the job, and they've got the job done, and that's the be all and end all football. Getting results. So, look. We'd do the same thing if we win a game. We enjoy the moment, and they're enjoying their moment. So that's totally their right, and I won't ever disagree with that. But like I said, it's just we need to use that. When you're coming in there and you're all a bit down, and you can hear other teams in there. Does it mean enough? Does it hurt enough? And be honest, I think being harsh on some of the boys in there, I don't think it does, and I think that's where probably we're stumbling a little bit at the moment.
You've ultimately been undone by two set pieces where your side were just far too tentative and not able to clear the ball away. What can you do to change that, or is it just about players taking more responsibility in those moments?
Yeah, I think it's spot on, Joe. I think it's about taking responsibility in that moment. I think, look, games won and lost in both boxes, and if we're not doing enough to keep balls out in our own box, then we have no right to go and win football games, and we come to whatever game we go into, and defenders or whoever's in there is throwing their bodies on the line, they're putting their head in where it hurts, and they're making it difficult. At times, we just don't make it difficult for teams to score against us. I think first goal, we just don't communicate. Chaz and Blue have both gone for the same ball. The lads picked it up, he's fired it across, and it's unmarked at the back stick. Can't happen. It's not good enough. Second goal, it's floated in between Tijan and Tegs. Someone's got to take charge. I've said it to Tegs in there. I'll be honest. I said I think he has to take charge of that moment. The senior pro in the side, he's got so many games under his belt. He needs to come through and clear house and put fist on it. But look, this is where we're at the moment, and like I said, it is something that we can't help with. If they've got no desire to put their head on it where it hurts and go, I might get a smash in the face here, then you're in the wrong sport. It's a physical game, and you've got to put your body on the line But if we're not prepared to do that, then we have no right of keeping clean sheets.
I guess it's the order and the timing of the goals and the way that they've gone in tonight that have killed you as well, because you've gone 1-0 down, you've then gone, you've had your chance to make it 1-1, which, if that penalty goes in, it arguably breaks their resilience. You arguably go on and win that game with the momentum you've got. And then when it goes 2-0, you've just given yourselves too big a mountain to climb.
It kind of sums us up, really, in that last 10 games. Like I said, giving ourselves mountains to climb. Like I said, they weren't. We were the better side for the whole of that game. We started really well. But it's football. You don't take your chances when you get them. You're always going to give away chances, and if you don't keep them out and you don't put them in, you ain't winning games. So, look, it's difficult for us at the minute. That's just where we're at.
Let's touch on some positives. Your newer players stood out tonight. I thought David Adegbola at right back was excellent, as he has been since he joined the club. And your two new additions from MK Dons as well, they looked lively when they came on.
Yeah, David's been brilliant since he's come in. New boys obviously got to get up to speed with this level, but like I said, they look sharp, they look bright, they look like they want the ball. And look, we're at a phase where new faces is something we might need. This is the beauty of this level. We can constantly change. The door can be revolving if we need it, and it has been recently. We've obviously had to shift a few players out to bring some players in. We know where we're at. We're in a position where we need to start winning football games, and unfortunately for that'll be difficult decisions for myself. If people aren't pulling their weight, then we'll have to go, thank you very much for everything you've done, but we'll move you on and we'll bring someone in that can do that. So it's never nice, don't get me wrong, it's not the easiest thing for myself, obviously learning and still new to that, but it's part of football.
It's evident in your team selections that you are starting to make those tweaks. You're bringing new faces in. You're trying to get yourself out of this rut. Are you confident that when these newer players start to bed in and you start to deliver performances of that sort of standard on a more consistent basis, that the results will come and that they will arrive and you will get the goals that you need? Don't
get me wrong, Joe. I don't think we will not pick up points till the end of the season. Don't get me wrong. There's still a lot of football to go. We're in a bad patch, and we know that. And we shown today again that there is a good side in here. And like I said, you kind of we were in this situation last year where we were in games, we were playing really well, couldn't find the result, and then all of a sudden things click and you're off and you're back on that trajectory. Like I said, it's difficult. Not got to lose faith in myself in terms of leading this young group, because that's what it is. Don't get me wrong, there's not a lot of age in there, there's not a lot of experience. So I've got to trust myself that I can lead this group through these tough times and get them through it, because once we all get through it, we'll be better for it. So yeah, that's the main thing for me now.
You touched on keeping faith in yourself and that personal pride. You look ahead to this Saturday. Obviously, it's a huge game against the runaway league leaders in Corn, but they're a side that you went away too early in the season. You gave a really good account of yourselves. You were so unlucky not to get the win in that game. How do you lift your players up now? Emotionally, of course, they'll be on the floor right now, but how do you lift them up to go again on Saturday against a really good side?
Being honest, I shouldn't have to do too much of the heavy lifting, to be honest, Joe. Like you said, you've got a team that runaway league, not many teams, one team's beaten them all season. That should get you up for any game. You should come into Saturday and be ready to go. Look, no, mate, we're the underdogs in that game. No one expects us to bring anything from that. But that's the best games you want to be in. There's freedom. The shackles are off in a way. You ain't got to worry about losing the game because everyone expects you to do that. So here, you come out and you give the best account of yourself. Like I said, we'll do what we need to. We'll be on the training pitch on Thursday night, working hard and going through how we think we can nullify them. But I've said it so many times, we can do all that. But once you cross that white line, that's your responsibility then. We can't help you. You've got to be brave. You've got to want the ball at times. And I say when it gets tough, you've got to roll your sleeves up and you've got to fight. And I said, I don't think we've had that at times in the last few weeks, but we showed that at points. I said certain players, I think David shows that in abundance. The lad's my height and he's willing to go in there and he'll go against the biggest lad of the other team. And I think a lot of our boys need to look at that and go, that's the attitude I need. No, don't be scared of anyone in this league. Like, football's football, Growing up, my dad always taught me that you pick on the biggest lad because you want to go and make your name for yourself. And these boys can do that. They're good players in their own right. They just got to start believing that again. And we have gone off that because of the results. We've not picked up many. And That's football. It's all about momentum and highs and lows, and we're at a low. But I'm no doubt that we'll get back out where we need to be.
Well, thanks for your honesty and your time. It's
No
always
problem,
appreciated.
mate.
Thank you. Well, Dave, thanks for coming to speak to us after what's been a very tough evening here at Hayden Road. A very strong performance on the pitch, but just couldn't turn it into a result. What's your thoughts?
I feel like we started very well, kicked off, got a couple of chances, but it just didn't land for us. And then obviously they've come with the goal, and it's quite a bit of a sucker punch, as we were saying. And then we've sort of built back up as we came back out after half time, and then the game just didn't really go our way. You would see as they ended up getting chance after chance after chance, and then we also had our chances, but it just didn't end up going in the net, honestly. But the boys really dug deep, and unfortunately we just didn't get the goals. That's what mattered at the end of the day.
I know you're an attacking-minded fullback, but just looking at the defensive aspect of the 2 goals that we conceded, 2 disappointing ones from set pieces. What were your thoughts on those?
I feel like they're avoidable, but they can happen. And going forward, it's just something we need to take out of the game. Honestly, I feel like the performance was top and quality overall, but those 2 big moments are the moments that everyone's going to look back at the end of the season and say, that's the reason we lost that game. So just going forth, looking at how we can rectify it and move forward as a unit. The boys are raring and ready to go again, as these things do happen, but it's just something, as I said, just rectifying it and going again next week.
And do you feel it's just the timing of the goals that have ultimately led to our downfall tonight? Because there was no doubt that you were a team that had more possession, more dominance, more territory. We give credit to Coventry Sphinx, who defended manfully for their lives, but that goal for us, it's just come a little too late, hasn't it?
Yeah. I feel like the timing of their goals, just before half time, and then the one near enough 70th minute, it could have been, I'm not too sure, but you could see it kind of killed our morale. As we're going forth, you have to pick yourself up again and go, and we did, and we got the goal, but obviously our goal was a bit too late to impact as much as we would have wanted to. And it's just one of them things where you score other chances, we go forward the games in a different aspect, but in these things you can't look back as we go into Saturday, and we just have to kick on and go again as a unit.
Just away from the game, from a more personal point of view, you're obviously one of the newer players here at Diamonds. So for people who perhaps might not too much about you, just tell us about your career today and how this move to Diamonds has come about.
Okay, so I am from Milton Keynes, not too far away, and I started playing my men's football there, and then moved over to university in Nottingham. Spent the last 3 years there, playing 2 years at Step 6 at Radford, and then my last year was at Colton Town, where we had a good season. We got to the playoff semi-finals and went up there. Unfortunately lost, but yeah, so all in all. And then when I came back over from uni to Milton Keynes, I joined up with St Ives at Step 3, started the season there, played a couple games here and there, and then obviously I've come to now Rushden Diamonds, just playing and enjoying it, honestly.
And how much has that previous experience been beneficial for you? You mentioned about your time at Carlton, also in the Northern Premier League. That must have really helped you to learn your trade at this level of football.
Yeah, so it's not an easy league, tough league, Newcastle, the type of places, different type of football. So I say I adapted my style to it. I'm not alien to a rough tackle or a rough challenge. It's something I went through all of last year, and it's helped me to become more of a man in the game, I would say. As I started as younger, I was 19 when I signed and left 21. So it's one of them things where it allows you to grow in all facets of your game. So yeah.
And you've joined the club on a dual registration agreement. Has there been any conversations about how long that might be, or are you just going to enjoy your football and just see where it goes?
Honestly, I'm just looking at it game by game. My feet are where I am, so as I'm here, I'm just putting 100% in and trying to get every game to the best quality, honestly, for me and the boys. We just want to go forth and win everything we can. So just as I'm on the pitch for 90 minutes, give it all, 95, 100 minutes, however long it is, just keep playing and playing for the badge that's on my shirt, honestly.
And looking ahead to this Saturday, obviously you'll all be down in that dressing room. It's a very demoralising defeat, but I was just chatting to Michael, and he was just saying there's no better game to have after a defeat like this than a game against the league leaders at your home as well. Yeah,
it's a big game. Obviously, you can see the record, the run they're on, but that doesn't matter, honestly. It's about 11v11 on the day, and whoever's the better 11 will win. So we're going to go into it heads on and steaming and ready to just get the goals, get the win, and do what we can, come back here on Saturday and perform for the fans and for the players as well, for everyone, for the whole club. It's not something small losing today, but we'll go forward and do what we can.
Thanks ever so much for your time, Dave.
Thank you so much.